Hello YouTube. I'm going to tell you about a very interesting place in terms of archaeology, and there's much more to discover. I think most of you have never heard about it, but you deserve to know about this. Lake İznik is a freshwater lake in the province of Bursa in the country of Turkey. Lake İznik is located near the modern area of Geluci. It is around 32 kilometers in length and 10 kilometers in width, with a maximum depth of about 80 meters. İznik Lake, with a surface of 298 square kilometers and the altitude of 85 meters. It's the largest lake in the Marmara region. The town of İznik, historically known as Nicaea, lies at its eastern end. The lake's ancient Greek name was Ascania, and the Roman name was Ascania as well. In Greek mythology, during the Trojan War, the region by the lake İznik was held by the Phrygians, who sent troops to the aid of King Priam, led by the brothers Phorcys and Ascanius, sons of Arataon, as related in the Iliad. The first settlements on the shore of the lake appeared in ancient times, as it was determined from about 2500 before Common Era. But from the 7th century before Common Era, small groups from Thrace moved there. But the first city appeared only in 316 before Common Era. It was founded by Antigonus, an associate of Alexander the Great, who gave the city his name. During the feuds between the Macedonian military leaders, the city was conquered by Lysimachus, and the city was named after his wife, Nicaea. In 293, Nicaea became part of Bithynia, and from the 1st century before Common Era, it became part of the Roman Empire. So in Antiquity, Nicaea, playing an important role in the Roman Empire due to its fertile lands and significant trade routes, was quite important. From the 4th century until the 13th century, Nicaea was an important commercial, religious, and economic center of Byzantium, and the 1st and the 7th ecumenical councils were held there. In the year 1077, Nicaea was conquered by the Seljuks, and it became the capital of the Seljuks. In 1331, Nicaea was conquered by the Ottoman troops led by no other than Orhan Gazi Pasha. The city gets a new name, İznik. In the 15th century, Persian artisans were brought to İznik, and they launched the production of tiles there, which were valued not only in the territory of the Ottoman Empire, but also far beyond its borders. After the victory in the war with the Persian Shah in the 16th century, potters from Tabriz were added to the tilers. The production of tableware in İznik has become no less popular than tiles. But by the 18th century, production had fallen. İznik's main competitor, the city of Kütahya, played a significant role in this. İznik has become an ordinary small town, and the secret of making the famous İznik tile was forgotten. It was only in the 20th century that it was recreated. Today, İznik is a low-rise city that lives mainly on tourism. Recently, fishermen raised a unique metal trident from the bottom of this Turkish lake, İznik, known in Antiquity as Ascania, like I told you, which evokes associations with the ancient Greek god of the seas, Poseidon. A random catch caught in the nets of fisherman Osman Emir and his companions in the İznik area was transferred to the local museum. Currently, experts have already begun to study the artifact, having previously dated it to the ancient Roman era. According to the fishermen, their morning started as usual. They threw their nets into the waters of Lake Iznik in the hope of a rich catch. However, instead of a fish, strangely shaped metal object resembling the tip of a trident was lifted from the bottom. Realizing the potential historical value of the find, Osman Erim contacted the directorate of the Iznik Museum. The experts who arrived at the site confirmed that the object raised from the bottom is of archaeological value. There was something else at that lake. The sunken basilica remains discovered in the year 2014 became visible as a result of the Lake Iznik's water withdrawal. Climate change is having an impact not only on the oceans but also on the large inland lakes. Lake Iznik is adversely affected by seasonal drought and presents an example of how a water body can and will change. Once a prominent structure on dry land covered by water in the subsequent centuries, the ancient basilica's ruins rose up again in the lake somewhat recently. The sunken basilica that was discovered in 2014 has recently become visible again as the result of the Lake Iznik's water levels dropping. Scientists emphasize that the basilica's historical significance is in terms of archaeology. Apparently, the historical basilica is one of the most significant discoveries of the century in the annals of world archaeology, according to Turkish archaeologists. Due to the low water levels brought on by climate change, the basilica, which was once submerged in the lake but has since merged with the landscape, is now accessible on foot. Well, you see, archaeologists recently uncovered important finds in the sunken basilica. Since 2015, a team of specialists has been excavating the bottom of the rock. The climate in the country is warm and the reservoir is heavily overgrown with algae, which further complicate the situation. Archaeologists are using special vacuum equipment to remove some of the soil and take it to shore for sifting. They managed to discover several human graves in the central part of the basilica, as well as coins from the time of Roman emperors Flavius Julius Valens, 364 to 378 Common Era, and Valentinian II, 375 to 392 Common Era. According to experts, the basilica was built in honor of Saint Neophytos, who was killed by the Romans in Nicaea in the year 303. The ruler of the empire at that time was Diocletian, who began mass persecution of adherents of the Christian faith. 10 years later, when Constantine the Great came to power, the Edict of Milan was issued, guaranteeing freedom of religion. Neophytos was recognized as one of the Christian martyrs. But the mystery of the flooded ruins may be even older than Christianity. Archaeologists believe that the basilica was built on the site of the pagan temple of Apollo. The chronicles mention the Emperor Commodus, 180 to 192. That famous gladiator emperor ordered construction of a sanctuary in honor of the sun god outside the city fortifications of Nicaea. Perhaps fragments of this structure are still preserved underwater, and maybe ruins that are much older. It is not surprising, but for many centuries of its history, Iznik has not gone beyond the ancient fortress walls. Modern multi-story construction is also not affected by the territory, so to say. Despite its small size, many of the structures in the city preserve the sites of different periods. Seriously, you can see quite a lot in such a small place. And the preserved sites of Iznik are easy to walk around during the day. I was told by a number of people who visited that place, and it's quite interesting. So you know now about the trident, you know the history of this very interesting town, you know about the basilica, and as the archaeological excavations proceed, we'll see what else can be discovered there. And that's what I wanted to let you know today. I love archaeology. I participated in it when I was 11 on a small Soviet Ukrainian island, and one day I'll tell the complete story about this very, very unusual island. But I need time for that. I want to thank you for your attention to my work. If you can support my research, please do so through the links you find in the description to this video. Please like my videos, and please subscribe to my channel.